welcome to issue 339 of Critical Encounters, a podcast about Marvel Champions, a living card game by Fantasy Flight Games. Here we take a good look at that most critical piece of the game, the encounter sets. We'll discuss those poorly understood characters, unfairly labeled villains, and their various plans to shape humanity and benefit the planet, as well as those so-called heroes intent on thwarting them. I'm one of your hosts, Lex, and with me are Steve. Hi, Steve.
Hey, how's it going?
Chris. Good evening, Chris.
And a good evening to you, Lex.
Good evening. And also the wonderful, fabulous Daniel. How are you this evening, Daniel?
Oh, thanks. I'm great. How are you, Lex?
I'm better tonight. It's good.
Okay, great.
I feel good. How are you?
Great. It's great.
That's a loaded great.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Oh, it's good. How are you tonight, Steve?
I'm feeling quite, I don't know, I'm good. I'm feeling good.
You're feeling by the book, aren't you?
No,
You're feeling...
Yeah, I have no regrets tonight.
I keep feeling
registered to win.
It's funny you mentioned that. I keep feeling like I forgot to register for something that I was supposed to register, but I'll figure it out.
Did everybody sign in when you got to the lair? Because policy is you have to sign in.
You have to sign in? That's right. New sign-in sheet.
No, I tore that sheet up and threw it out. Are you kidding me?
Oh, boy.
Oh, HR's going to get on you.
Yeah.
I also dumped that sheet where Lex said, I don't need none of that. I don't need none of that sheet.
Oh, boy.
There we go.
I think he tore it out of the trash and then set it on fire and threw it back in the trash.
Well, before we start any sort of civil discourse here, I have a question.
What's that, Steve?
Hey, highway to the danger zone. What's on your mind tonight?
Oh, I'm trying, I feel like every week I say that was your finest.
It's just really bad. I'm sorry, folks.
I mean, he just every week outdoes himself.
I don't know. Yeah, Kenny Loggins to me tonight.
Yeah, you were supposed to log in too, but okay.
You got logged.
Wow. That'd be super awesome if you thought that meta about that song.
It would be.
I want that to be true.
It just sort of worked out.
Genius.
Well, what's on my mind tonight? Well, so we're recording this on July 1st, 2026. We are in the round of 32 teams in the Men's World Cup right now. And I have complicated feelings about the world and international stuff at around this time. So I have, even when I was young and wasn't really political or anything, these international things like the World Cups and Olympics and stuff would always give me what I thought was a pretty safe environment to not root for the United States. So I have never ever wanted any US basketball team or whatever to win the Olympics because I always thought it was unfair, right? I thought these international times are opportunity to showcase other countries, especially now that it's being hosted by us in Canada and Mexico. We get to maybe find out something about other places, especially at this time in our history and where other places don't thrill us so much, it seems. So to see these other countries come in and to see the colors and see their fans and stuff, it's been a little bit overwhelming for me actually, because one, Norway is doing well. And those are my people. I want them to go far. But this is also my time for, I spent 2 years of my life in West Africa, and it's so great to see Senegal and Ghana here. Cote d'Ivoire sadly left yesterday. And so this is that time where I really want the underdogs to win. I am never rooting for that top seed. And so the World Cup kind of got me thinking about our lovely game and how there are like I almost kind of want to do like a World Cup of villains. I want to do like a World Cup of heroes because I feel like there are definite like top and bottom tiers of all of our of both of those groups, right? And we've talked about
Yep.
of our top tens of this, that, and the other. But like I was just thinking like how cool would it be to somehow bracket them and have them compete in some way and then engineer it so the underdog always wins, right?
Oh, cheat.
So that at the end of the entire villain World Cup, Rhino's there at the end, right? or Ebony Maw, whoever else we test deck, whoever else we test deck against. But like it's like, you know, what makes you love a place is sometimes the idea of that place or sometimes the idea of their role in something larger. And I don't know, this World Cup has really kind of got me at times, you know, a little overwhelmed by thinking of other things in my life and how at this moment in time, we need the world to be bigger and more vast and more loving and more open. And the World Cup kind of gives us that. And I don't know, like living in DC and having to deal with people getting arrested because the reflecting pool is green, not through their fault.
Right.
And people still getting like arrested for, I don't know, the Star Wars theme song in front of a National Guardsman or something. Like here we are welcoming the globe to this region. And like, I want this moment to highlight the good of it and not the flaws of it. And so yeah, I don't know. You know, it's halftime in the US Bosnia-Herzegovina game. And it's just like, can't we just all be better people? I don't know. That's what this World Cup always makes me think that. Can't we be better people? And when I watch the men's World Cup, I'm like, can't we be more like the women's World Cup? Because no one can have this many shin injuries. I just don't believe it. Right?
So, Daniel, I don't really follow soccer World Cup, any of that. How is Latveria doing? That's really the country I'm rooting for.
They're still in it. They're still in it.
Okay, so Dr. Doom's he's good to go. Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think they take Battle World next. I believe in this round
Yeah,
of 16.
It was them and Madripoor were the two that I was rooting for. So
Yeah, Madripoor might be out. I think they're out.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
They never do very well.
But that's what's on my mind. Like global stuff and wishing the global stuff was better, you know?
Yeah.
But whatever. We're not here to talk about my sad sack doom and gloom nonsense, Steve. What's happening? You've been talking about logging in and you only say those words when there's something on your mind.
Yeah, we're gonna dive into the registration main schemes. So last week we had Mike on and he talked all about the Civil War in general. And we looked at the PvP cards, and now we're gonna get into the main schemes, but you know.
So tonight we're talking about the bad guys, right? The villains? Okay.
No, we're talking about
the good guys.
We're talking about the good guys. The law-abiding citizens. The law-abiding citizens we're going to talk about.
Which law are they about? Maybe
the law that
the unjust one.
The law that Congress signed, right? So
well, Congress has never signed any unfair laws before, so I'm sure you're right. These are the good people.
No,
the unjust violation of the people's liberties. Yes.
Now, hang on.
Okay.
One at a time. If you're not holding the conch, it's not your turn to speak.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, look, it was a law that passed, and even if you don't agree with it, it's the law. And what are heroes supposed to do? They're supposed to follow the law. So if they're not following the law,
yes,
they are not heroes. They are villains.
Yeah,
they're the bad guys.
Take that, Malcolm X. All right,
Captain America, bad guy. We've all suspected it, but now we know.
I mean, aren't all of these quote unquote heroes people we don't like on this show, anyways?
Well, that's true.
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
But Iron Man is
vigilantes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll see about that one. But
I do feel like 339 issues later, I'm finally going to be vindicated.
Yes. Your time has come.
My time has come. If there were ever doubters about what a flipping douche this guy is. Can I say that? Flipping?
Yeah,
Sorry.
Sure.
Sure.
So
This man is done.
before we talk, let's rein it in for half a second. What we want to do is we're going to talk about just the registration main schemes and how they function. So I'm gonna put Lex on the spot. Why don't you explain a little bit about how they function both for registration and next week for resistance?
So I think we talked about this a little bit last week, but there are a number of different 1A schemes and 2A schemes. And they're not connected to each other. So normally you have a villain and they've got their 1A, 1B, or they have their, maybe multiple schemes and they advance from one to the next. When you're playing, you're going to do that. But in terms of deciding what you're playing against, you can pick any 1A, 1B scheme. They all have the same front, but the back will be different. So you can do it random if you want. You can pick it out. And then the same for the 2A, 2B. If you're playing true PvP Civil War, you're going to be designing schemes that you want the other teams to have to take on. And so you get to choose. But you're going to pick one 1A, 1B and one 2A, 2B. And those are going to be the main schemes for your leader. We have a handful that came in the precons, for example. Does somebody want to highlight what those are for registration?
So, right out of the Civil War box, if you're looking for Iron Man to go after Tony Stark himself, the recommended 1B main scheme is cutoff support, and 2B is negative zone. For his right hand captain, Captain Marvel, he upgraded from Steve Rogers. Your 1B is going to be shield recruits, and your 2B is hunting rebel heroes. And then continuing on the registration side, if you go into the Synthezoid SmackDown set, you'll be going up against She-Hulk. And She-Hulk's two main schemes are 1B is Enforce the Law, and 2B is Mighty Avengers.
Yeah, I think this is a good point. What to expect in the show going forward is we're just going to take the Civil War box and the Synthezoid SmackDown, mix it all together, and talk about it as one giant thing. Sometimes, like we talk about the Loki scenario pack separate from the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. box. In this one, we're going to talk about the modular sets and the leaders and the main schemes kind of all as one piece. So tonight, we're going to talk about the ones that came both in the Civil War box and the ones that came in the Synthezoid SmackDown box. But we are going to have to look at the cards themselves. Dan, what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of lore and then look at a card. A little bit of lore, look at a card, back and forth. But we need to look at 1A to start with. So, Daniel, do you want to read us 1A? And this will be 1A for all 8 of them or 5, however many, right? There's a whole bunch of
the 300 of them all share this 1A. Okay.
Right.
This is the Superhero Registration Act. Main scheme. Contents, chosen leader 1 and 2, or 3 and 4 in expert mode. The chosen leaders set, standard set, and 3 to 4 modular sets. Wow. I guess we're going to be talking about those at some point, right?
Yep.
All right. Then you set it up. In competitive mode, the enemy team will find the chosen side scheme and your team reveals it. In cooperative mode, find the chosen leader's side scheme and reveal it. Okay.
Yeah.
So that, again, every one of these 1Bs has that front.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's get into some of these 1Bs, shall we? Chris, do you want to go first, or would you like me to go first?
I will defer to you, old great leader.
Did you say
say gray or great?
I swear to God, he said old gray leader. Not.
That's what I heard. Old gray leader. Like
I think it was
Totally
oh great leader. Oh great leader. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go Gandalf.
The recording will probably back me
I
up.
have all your information, so you better behave.
I'm probably older than you anyway.
All right, you know what? I'm going to talk about cutoff support, and I don't want to have to do that to you and cut off your support. Okay, so cutoff support is one of the 1Bs, and so it said, I'm just going to read the quote, and then I'm going to talk about the lore a little bit. So, society will no longer tolerate superheroes who operate outside the law. She-Hulk. Okay.
Oh, so disappointing.
She's a lawyer.
Yeah.
As the Superhuman Registration Act takes effect, public and private institutions, being aligned with a more stable and accountable heroic framework, right? They have funding and logistics, and civilian cooperation naturally shifts towards the registered heroes who operate under a clear oversight with legal authority, while those unregistered vigilantes claim that this is like isolation and stuff. But the reality is we have a maturing system where support is directed toward those who protect society responsibly and transparently, rather than those who continue to operate outside the law and hide behind their masks. So that's what our cutoff support is all about.
I don't buy it.
Well, no one asked you. Okay, so cutoff support is one of the 1B main scheme. It starts with 0 threat, goes up by 1 threat per player, and tops out at 7 threat per player. If there's more than 1 player on your team, this stage gains hinder 2 per player. We're going to see a lot of that on 1Bs. The unique piece here is force interrupt when a player reveals a treachery. Place 1 threat here. Limit once per phase per player.
So walk me through the theme of this one, Steve. I don't get it.
I don't know.
Perfect. That's what I imagined someone who just passes ridiculous laws might say about.
I could see it as when you're revealing a treachery, you're doing heroic stuff against the law. So that's making it closer to you losing by being cut off.
Chris, did you just admit that the law is equal to treachery? Because that is
no,
the treachery. No, the treachery are the rebel heroes who aren't following the law. That's treachery.
That's the treachery.
Yeah, that's the treachery.
Run the tape. Not quite what Chris said.
Yeah.
That sounds like projection.
Yeah. So
that really is projection from Daniel.
You said when they reveal a treachery, they're doing heroic things. Yes, and the law wouldn't want that. You're right. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Wow.
Sure.
Wow. Okay.
Thanks, She-Hulk.
Heroic as it. Heroic as it. There you go.
I will be honest, Lex, I think I'm with you on this one. She's my I'm so disappointed in you registration hero.
I know.
How can you? I mean, she's a lawyer, right? I mean, she already started off bad.
Isn't she a defense attorney? Like,
she tries to defend speedball.
Yeah, she defends murderers. I mean, come on.
She does defend speedball, but not very well.
I don't know. I just think
let's move on to the next one.
Hasn't she been through enough in the world?
I am filled with outrage by this discussion, and I'm going to make that outrage public. So public outrage is another one of the 1B schemes, and it features a wonderful piece of artwork with J. Jonah Jameson banging on the table with pictures of Cap and Iron Man behind him, and he's saying, "I can't believe Captain America has turned against his country." Yeah. So
Captain America is the country.
In the theme, well, that tells us so our country is not abiding by the law. Okay, got it. So in the theme of Civil War, I mean, really, even before the main catalyst for the Civil War is, I mean, people weren't always all behind these superheroes and everything. It was kind of a hot button topic for a while, because I mean, yeah, great, Avengers, you saved us from Thanos. Fantastic Four, you saved us from that Galactus. That's fine, but you destroyed my house in the process, or my uncle over there got turned into a dinosaur. Come on. So I mean, it's kind of hard to cheer for them
when your house is burning down, Chris. Do you blame the fire department for the water damage?
If they set it on fire, yes.
Oh, so the heroes are responsible for Thanos setting my house on fire? Okay. No, okay. I see where you're coming from.
Well, when they walk away after and don't do anything about it, then there's a problem.
Yes.
Right?
They're not outraged. They're not construction contractors. They're superheroes.
They're not paying for anything.
Exactly.
Hey, if I come to your house and break your window, I got to pay for it, right?
Do you have
if you don't have to pay for my window, Steve, if you're putting the fire out of my kitchen.
But I'm not putting the fire out in your kitchen. I'm yelling at a guy across the street, and I threw a rock through your window at him. And now
I think we're all forgetting that it's the insurance companies who are the real villains here.
Oh, we can agree on that. We can agree on that.
You know what? Fine. Keep going, Chris. We interrupted you. Sorry.
But anyway, so the people that have to live with all these crazy events and the heroes all the time, so they were kind of on the fence on them to start with, and then you got this reckless, audience-seeking reality show superhero group that causes the death of dozens of young school children, blown apart based on this reckless behavior. That was enough. Public outrage called for this, and we were there. So looking at the card itself, again, as Steve mentioned, the 1Bs the threat levels and everything, those are all going to be identical among all of them. Start with 0, go up 1 per, cap at 7 per, and then if there's more than 1 player on the team, it gets hinder 2 per player. The forced response, and this one is a little different. So the forced response here is after resolving step 1 of the villain phase, which is putting threat on the main scheme, each player discards the top 3 cards of their deck. So because the public is so outraged, you start losing support, and by support, we mean cards.
Can I ask a Civil War setup competitive question?
Yeah.
Can I make this my 1B after I have seen Chris bring Magic, or do I set my decks up before I know who the heroes are? Okay.
Yeah, before the hero. Now, at like Con of Heroes, the way they ran that tournament was you brought 3 decks, and the other team got to veto one of the decks. So then you chose from the 2. So that was kind of a nice way to help, sculpt the game, I think.
Make it a little more directed. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
But that's not an official rule. That's just what they did.
Sure. Yeah.
According to the D-Vader, that seemed to work well. Okay. So let's move on to another one, 1B. Okay. Homeland Security. Okay. With armed shield units patrolling the streets, crime rates have fallen to record lows. Of course they have.
Of course they have.
So in this case,
and security.
Yeah. So SHIELD becomes fully empowered under the Registration Act, right? They coordinate patrols. They have enhanced response units that can bring unprecedented stability to civilian life, right? Crime drops sharply as superhuman threats are met with organized and lawful intervention rather than like the chaos of a vigilante escalation, okay? These are trained police or law enforcement, right? Though your dissenting heroes are going to frame these measures as like authoritarian, right? And the public will increasingly experiences them as a reassurance, right? They see the shield out there. They know they're safe. This is a world where their protection is professional, accountable. It's consistent. You have badge numbers and names, and you can trace things back. So that's our Homeland Security main scheme. I'm not hearing any voices.
Well, there we go.
Okay.
I mean,
sense to me.
Perfect.
It looks like we filled the streets with the military, which, if I recall, is
no. Shield's not the military.
proper.
That's not the military. They're still the armed forces. They still exist. These are police forces. These are
so
police
like
forces.
say I don't
Shield,
know
Homeland Security. Homeland Security.
Yeah.
So
they're not Marines.
Let's say let's ask our friends in Minneapolis,
so
St. Paul, how they feel about this.
Let's just say that the federal government has taken over local law enforcement's municipality and operations. Cool.
Are you saying you don't trust Maria Hill or Nick Fury with your safety?
That's a loaded question, and I don't.
Yes, it is. And let me read you the main scheme for it.
Wow.
Okay, it's all the same 1B stuff, and the unique piece on this is every minion gets guard. They're all guards. They're guarding the public. So
yeah,
there you go. Yeah.
Are they guarding the public? Or are they guarding Tony Stark?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is the public Tony Stark now? Because if so, I think we've already blurred the lines that you were all about.
If you're trying to attack the man in charge, of course they're going to have to protect him. That's
so you're saying the man in charge is Tony Stark. Oh, so Tony Stark is the government.
Did you read the Civil War set? They protect Tony Stark. They love Tony Stark. So it makes perfect sense thematically. And if I were an innocent civilian, I would certainly want some protection against these crazed quote unquote heroes running around trying to save the day without proper registration, training, insurance.
Unwilling to follow the law, folks. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, criminals, protection against criminals. Yeah.
Lex, I really don't even know what to say about that nonsense.
Chris is going to read another one, so hold on.
It is so far afield of reality. Oh my God.
Well, see, really, what you fail to understand is this Homeland Security. What they're doing is enforcing the law.
Okay.
So enforce the law is another 1B scheme, and as She-Hulk says, this could all be avoided if you would only obey the law. Simple as that. Because, see, when the Registration Act passed and then it took into effect at midnight of the day that it took into effect, By that point, all superpowered beings, whether they were powers, mutants, tech-based, didn't matter what, aliens, your superpowers, you had to register. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're like, well, look, I was a hero, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I don't want to register, but I'm not going to hero anymore. Nope. You have to register because honestly, these heroes aren't trustworthy. We don't know that you're not going to go out and try to do something. So it makes perfect sense that you have to register. And if you break the law, you're gonna be looked at by the police, by Shield, by the registered superheroes. They're gonna say, hey, this quote unquote hero is breaking the law, and they're gonna track you down and enforce the law. And the law is register or go to jail. Simple as that. Obey the law and everything's fine.
Easy peasy.
What's so hard? I mean, we're
Posted
law-abiding
speed
citizens.
limit,
Well,
you go to speed limit.
regular people are
Easy.
law-abiding citizens. I don't see what the problem is here. You have nothing to fear from the law if you obey the law.
What is the duty of a law-abiding citizen when they believe their government has passed an unjust law that violates the inherent rights of their fellow citizens?
Well,
I
then they
suppose they
should
would
elect
they
people.
would vote. They would
Yeah.
elect different members to Congress.
We have a
those
process
sort of
in place
things.
for that.
Yeah.
Guys,
I don't.
this is
I don't.
so,
I mean,
it's so
I don't get
oogie
what
in
the
its
problem is.
realness.
It's so
Oh
oogie.
my god.
Who could possibly support this kind
I
of
mean,
scheme?
if I have to register to drive my car, and if I don't do that, the
Exactly.
law is going to come and enforce that against me. So okay, but yeah, Chris, what
So
does the
should I have
scheme
to-
do?
We
What does the
want.
scheme
We
do?
want.
What does this game
We
do?
want proper gun regulation in place. These are worse than guns. These heroes, these walking nuclear bombs. It's not unreasonable to expect them to be registered and handled properly too, right?
It's interesting because you actually don't seem to want any kind of gun control. But go ahead.
It's
Carry
just
on.
a matter of who's controlling them.
But you have a history of regulating the human body. So go ahead. Yes.
Who's we? We're just dealing with Superhuman Registration Act, man. We're not members of
We're
Congress.
just
We're just reading the
passing on
schemes, man.
information.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
I
What does the scheme
do
do,
not
Mike, Chris?
vote on this. Oh, and the scheme for this. So again, standard 1B side. The extra thing with this is the enemy leader gains steady. Because they're there to enforce the law, they are just steadier because they got the backing of the United States government behind them.
Conviction of their moral righteousness. They are steady and all right. So to enforce the law, we have Homeland Security. We need to enforce the law, which means we need more SHIELD recruits to do this.
Naturally.
Okay, and that's our next one. B, SHIELD recruits. With more heroes choosing to register each day, SHIELD welcomes a new generation of trained, accountable operatives dedicated to protecting the public. These recruits strengthen the nation's ability to respond to superhuman threats while proving that true heroes serve with transparency and responsibility. And as lawful defenders join the ranks, the reckless actions of the unregistered resistance become increasingly isolated and indefensible. So the scheme we can talk about it after. The special piece is when revealed, the enemy team searches the encounter deck for 1 per player minions and deals 1 to each player on your team as a face down encounter card. So you actually go into the deck, you get a minion, and you get to put it out against the other team. So you get to recruit somebody who's going to face off against the resistance folks. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, people like Venom and Jester and the Thunderbolts. Yeah.
Following the law.
Don't you want these guys to be registered, reformed? Are we saying that they're villains, or are they? You know what I mean? Like, I thought they were just misunderstood. Oh, haven't we been saying that all along? So
I think Lex doesn't believe in redemption arcs, is what I'm hearing.
I guess not.
Just say I only believe in some redemption arcs.
Oh, he's picking and choosing.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I think he's picking and choosing the ones that are actually redemptive.
Look, did you miss the part where we said that they're accountable operatives? They all have accountability buddies, and
Yep,
they're
true.
making sure that they're following
One
the law
another, right.
properly.
Many of them have nanites that control them if they get out of line. So
Exactly.
yeah. Yep.
Extra
Well, this just
I know
gets
you
better and
think-
better, doesn't it?
I
For
know
those
you think,
innocent
yeah,
civilians.
exactly. I know that
Jesus.
sounds like it should be better, but it's so not.
It's great. I mean, if you want to know where your operatives are, it's like wearing a body cam, right? You can know what they're doing at all times. So, and that's what you
Right.
want out of your law enforcement. You want to know what they're doing and if they've done something wrong, so you can hold them accountable, and then they can go to jail as well if they break the law.
All right. So,
Hmm?
Chris, Steve, when we somehow lose to this disgusting first scheme, what
Yeah, what
happens
comes
after
next?
that? Like, how are you
Well-
going to make this worse for humanity?
So at that point, we would switch over to some pro-registration tactics, because if our initial
Tactics has never sounded so dirty, Chris.
ask to say, "Hey, this is the law, you should follow it and work with us," if that falls on deaf ears, then we have to pull out some tactics to enforce the law. Simple as that.
We're about to get more real, aren't we, Chris?
So, so the pro registration tactics, side 2A of, so this is the same 2A for every one of the second registration main schemes. So Iron Man and his Avengers are ordered to apprehend any superpowered individuals who refuse to register with S.H.I.E.L.D. That includes former teammates such as Captain America and Spider-Woman. I mean, it's the law. They have to. And you know what happens if you don't follow the law? Lex, Daniel, do you know what happens? You go to jail. In this case, we can't have a regular jail because these are superpowered beings here. So what we've done is we've crafted a negative zone prison for them. So through some genius people like Reed Richards, Hank Pym, Tony Stark, and Radioactive Man and Baron Zemo, we built a prison in the negative zone that can hold all these unregistered heroes and villains that break the law and refuse to fall into line and play by the rules. And as a side note, the negative zone is not technically within the United States or any country, so rights may, you gotta obey the laws of the country that you're in.
Oh, I see.
They're
So
not
you unlawfully
nations.
extradited individuals outside of their citizens' country, and you decided to put them in a place created
Oof.
by the person who invited Galactus,
Is an alternate
Baron
dimension
Zemo,
really extradition?
Radioactive Man,
No, I mean, we just moved them to an appropriate jail.
a place where the
Oh.
law does not stand in. I see. Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't want powered people in a prison with regular folks who are just there because because
May I
they could
remind you?
possibly. You wouldn't want them to possibly harm them or to harm those prison guards, but these are special Shield
We-
agents. This is a special prison
we-
designed for them.
We are
The
obeying.
punishment fits the crime, right? So
I'm just saying.
We
you know,
are obeying
what else did
every
Hank Pym?
law of the jurisdiction we're in.
And so Hank Pym, what else has he
Absolutely.
made? Oh, that's right, Ultron. He made Ultron. Cool. Yeah. Thanks.
who we approve
Tony?
of, right? We approve
Yeah.
of here. So
Yeah, but not as somebody who oversees my every day to day.
Okay.
I mean, everybody loves Reed Richards. He's like the
I mean,
darling,
Reed Richards,
right?
smartest man.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
Smartest
There-
a-hole
there's-
you've ever met.
there's
I thought that was Iron Man.
you just here.
Actually,
Let
that's
me
Iron
tell.
Man. Well, Iron Man's not the smartest because you've met Reed Richards. So
Okay.
Maybe what if I tell you a little bit about the negative zone prison, and that'll allay
should.
all your worries
There
and
you go.
fear.
That's a good idea.
Okay, so first of all, much like the 1Bs, all the 2Bs are mostly going to be the same, other than they all have a special little ability or force response. So in general, on all the 2Bs, they're going to start at 0 threat, go up 1 per player, and they have a max threat cap of 9 per player. For negative zone prison, it does have a little asterisk on it, and it says reduce the target threat value for this scheme by 1 for each face down card under it. Which begs the question, how do you put a face down
how do you
card
put
on?
cards under it?
I'm glad you asked. So this has a forced response. After an ally is defeated by an enemy attack, place that ally face down under the scheme. You threw your ally over to guard your illicit escape, and they are appropriately locked up for breaking the law and interfering with law enforcement. And by the way, if the stage is completed, the players lose the game, as the dirty criminals they are.
The mechanics and the mechanics
The
to the
man
theme
wins.
is great for a prison, right? Yeah. That part is
They fought.
right on.
Oh, it is true. They fought the law, and the man won.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the law won. This is a great
So,
revisiting of what's the Sentinels one?
Yeah.
Operation Zero Tolerance.
Yes. Yep.
yeah. So I do have an interesting mechanical question though. If you mind control a minion, it becomes an ally. If it's then defeated by an enemy attack, are they still considered an ally for the forced response, or do they become a minion at that point and they're
I
not
think they
covered by the forced response?
I think once they're defeated, the card falls off. So this is a response, and it's no longer an ally; it's a minion.
yeah.
There's got to be timing between like the interrupt, the when
Yeah.
damage assignment, defeated, and response.
Attachments are discarded at the same time as the hero, as the character or whatever, right? So if they're a minion because it's a card that's made them a minion, when they're defeated, they are a minion because that card doesn't go away until they're defeated. Now, if it said after an ally is placed in your discard pile from play, well,
Or
then you
leaves
would
play
do
or
it,
something. Yeah.
right? Because they were just placed in the discard pile from play, and they are an ally when they go into the discard pile, but they aren't when they are being defeated because that's part of the damage calculation and stuff when they would have that attachment still.
All right.
All
So
right. So they
perfect.
do
See,
end
we're
up in
being
prison.
lawful. We're saying the minions are ending up in the prison or no?
I think the minion
They are
ends up in
not.
the prison. Don't they end up in the prison?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're saying a minion is an ally.
Yes. So
Correct.
like
You've made the
mind
minion
control,
ally. I was thinking the other way around.
Irma, or something like that.
Yes. Then they would go in. I think they would go in
A
the
minion
prison.
turned into an ally and then defeated goes into the prison. I think from your previous timing.
That's how I would interpret it, but I could be
I
wrong.
think
I'd be
so.
interested
No, I
what
think you're right. I think you're right. I will
Tony
agree with you on this
and
one,
the
Lex.
FFG rules.
Okay.
We could message
But-
Alex about that.
So there you go. That is a very safe, secure, and up to all legal standards, a prison that just happens to be in another dimension.
To keep the people safe, right? I mean, how many stories have we talked about prison breaks and prison breaks and prison breaks and so goes in and so comes out because of illegal prison breaks? This way, there's no prison breaks. So
Yeah.
nice.
Makes
Perfect.
perfect sense.
Yep.
Huh.
All right, let's right? I mean, you don't want people
Huh?
breaking out of prison. So all right, so our next
Or do
2B is the might well, I don't want people breaking out of prison. Boy, I would feel unsafe about that. Our next 2B is the Mighty Avengers. Iron Man's Avengers believe so strongly in superhero reform that they lead the charge against their former teammates. Reform, guys. This is reform, and reform is always good, right? So since Iron Man has, say alienated or arrested a whole bunch of the regular Avengers, like Captain America, Falcon, Hawkeye, etc., Hawkeye, a criminal prior to becoming a hero. He needs a whole bunch of other heroes to fill up the ranks of the Avengers. So he forms the Mighty Avengers after he becomes the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. So he puts together a new team, and these new Mighty Avengers consist of Captain Marvel, Sentry, Wonder Man, Wasp, Black Widow, and Ares. So we even see them on all the various arts and things like that, and we get several of them as leaders or heroes in the game. So, right, this is why we're seeing Wonder Man as a hero, and we get Captain Marvel as a leader, that sort of thing. So, and I think we were talking previously about Uncanny X-Men and Amazing Spider-Man and the Mighty Avengers. So they like to rename themselves all the time.
They do. It's true.
Good marketing opportunity.
Yep. So the main scheme has all the same stuff as the other 2B with regards to the numbers. While the enemy leader is attacking, it gets +1 attack, +2 attack instead if the attack is undefended. If the stage is completed, the players lose the game. So they're mighty. They get a bonus to attack. Okay.
Their zeal does not make them correct.
But it makes them strong.
It's true.
And mighty.
Nor do I really understand how a whole bunch of people make one dude stronger. But whatever.
Because he has the support.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, there you go. He's got his
Really,
his
it's that simple?
Yeah, they add into his strength. They're punching off to the side with him, right? They're like his fist is hitting the same time their fist is hitting for extra damage.
So those 5 guys are +1 attack? Oh.
I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean,
For the camp.
Ares
mechanically-
and Sentry and Wonder Man
What
are
a-
strong.
What a disappointment.
Yeah. Well,
Well-
they are mighty.
Yeah, feeling it.
Well, you know what these Mighty Avengers are probably doing? They are
What's
hunting
that?
rebel heroes.
Oh yeah, okay.
So hunting rebel heroes is yet another 2B. Because, superheroes, even before the Registration Act, look at the superheroes. They think they're superior and they're better than regular people. They know better. Laws don't apply to them. They're superheroes. Why should they pay attention to the law? Now, though, no. They need to be registered hero. But do you think they listen to that law? Of course not. That's the problem. These rebel heroes, they go off and like, oh, there's a crime, somebody's being mugged. Oh, there's some tax evasion going on over there, and they go probably blow up a building or something like that because they think they're being superheroes and obeying the spirit of the law because they don't care about the actual law itself. So when these heroes who can't stop themselves from heroing go try to break the law, well, Mighty Avengers, Shield, and the rest, they go hunting these rebel heroes to bring them to justice, to follow the law. It's pretty straightforward if you think about it, and honestly, pretty heroic of them.
Well, it's really interesting that hunting, of course, is that connotates such disastrous things. And then you actually say heroes. You're hunting heroes, Chris. Heroes.
Rebels.
No.
Rebels.
Yeah. You don't say hunting rebels.
Have you seen
You
Star
say
Wars?
hunting rebels. Heroes.
Uh-huh. And I'm sure about back in the 19th century there were some heroes and part of some rebels in part of this country that thought themselves as heroes too. Are you saying that we should
like George Washington?
In the 19th century, George Washington was around.
George Washington? Yeah, I'm thinking.
Sure. Beginning of the 1800s. What about against the War of 1812?
I think we're talking about guys clad in gray.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about segregationists. I don't think
they're calling themselves heroes.
I think you need to go further back.
It's the words that they're using, right? That's what they call themselves. So.
Words matter, just like while.
Just using their nouns.
Oh, he's using your own against you.
Wow.
Devious.
So speaking of words,
in
Hunting Rebel Heroes, same numbers, but the kicker on this one is each hero gains the unregistered trait. So you get a free trait out of this.
Totally fair because it's accurate, right? It's totally accurate.
It is.
They're not registered. They're unregistered.
That is true.
Yeah. Yep.
Can't argue with that.
And so not just that, but we get a force response. After another card is revealed that gives one or more heroes the unregistered trait, deal 2 damage to each of those heroes because you're getting hunted down by the real heroes, law enforcement. And you get hurt in the process of trying to resist. I mean, again, as we talked about earlier, if you just obey the law.
All right. Well, you know what?
How much more of this nonsense do we have to deal with, Lex?
Don't worry, Daniel, because there's no going back now, and that is our next main scheme. No going back. There's no more amnesty for Cap and his renegades. It's gone too far. So time and time again, Iron Man and S.H.I.E.L.D. and the government give the heroes the opportunity, those unregistered, quote-unquote heroes, the opportunity to come in, to bring themselves in, to register, to have amnesty. But after so much time passes, like as you go through the Civil War and you get further and further along in the timeline, that time for compromise passes. They have had their chance. They've gotten their second chance, their third chance, their fifth chance, whatever it is. So the repeated acts of defiance of the rebels and the resistance just escalates violence over and over again. And the government no longer can offer that amnesty to Captain America and his renegades. So, and then every attack they have on law enforcement and every refusal to just register just reinforces the need for a decisive action by Iron Man, the Mighty Avengers, S.H.I.E.L.D., and those people who are acting for justice and the law. So that rule of law has to prevail. So those who continue to operate outside of it must be brought to justice. And that's what this no going back main scheme shows, that there's a point there and we've just moved on and over it. So, yeah.
We've moved over a point, that's for sure.
Yep. And to represent that, allies will enter play exhausted. Because it's been so long. It's been such a long and tedious slog. It's been so much effort and energy, right, to get to this point. If they had just come in, everything would be fine. So,
can you imagine, like, the only reason you play an ally is to use it the turn you play it and then jump block with it, but it comes in exhausted, so now you can't.
I mean,
It
you can still
really,
chump
really
luck if that's
hurts.
what your thing. If you just want to
Yeah, but that's
throw
it.
your friends to the negative zone prison, that's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Chris, I think there's one left. One left.
Yeah. Now they've been after us about all these laws that were passed and following the rules. But one of the things, it's not just hunting down rebel heroes and throwing them in a negative zone prison. The registration is trying to protect the citizens of this country. And one of the ways they did that is with something called the initiative. So what they did was they said, hey, we've got all these superheroes here. They can't all be in New York City or San Francisco. What about other states? North Dakota? What about Alabama? What about Georgia? What about Oklahoma? So what they did was they took all the registered heroes and they started breaking them up into teams, and they would base them in every state in America. Now, I'm not sure if that included like territories, so I don't know if Puerto Rico or Guam or Virgin Islands were left out, but at least the 50 states.
I would take the Hawaii assignment, by the way. I'm just put my hand up there. So
They would, at the behest of Henry Gyrich, very trustworthy person, they
certainly
created
understands
these.
registering.
Yes, he does. They created these individual superhero teams to deploy them in states so that if a situation came up where you needed superheroes, you would have one easy there. You didn't have to wait. If you were in Minnesota, you didn't have to wait for 8 hours for somebody from the Avengers to fly over from New York City when they get a chance. And so, fun fact, real quick, I happen to live in the state of Wisconsin, and our state was protected by the Great Lakes Initiative, formerly known as Great Lake Avengers. Included people like Flatman, Big Bertha, Mr. Immortal, Doorman, Dinosaur, and Squirrel Girl. And, that's a good team here. Got to enjoy it.
See that, Daniel?
But-
Even Squirrel Girl registers so that she can
Yep.
better protect
Nope.
your home
Won't
state.
believe it.
Because she
Not
is
gonna believe it.
unbeatable, and she knew
He's a child.
that if she sided with the rebels, she would be beaten.
Well,
because
there's
she's
the
on
other
right
one.
side of
That's the other
law.
one, Lex, right? They can get these children off the street or properly train these kids who shouldn't be out there putting their lives at risk, right? They can bring
Right.
those guys in. They can help them, right? I mean, how are they even paying their rent half the time? So
Oh, because they have parents who are supposed to be their guardians and teach them what's right and wrong, not a government who puts them in a training facility where they're taught to be killers for Henry Gyrich, the creator of the
No,
Sentinel
they're not-
program. I don't see why
they're not-
anybody doesn't see why
they're
this is
not
terribly
trained to
wrong.
be killers. They're
Killers?
trained to use their abilities and powers in a proper and respectful
Hmm.
and safe manner to help
Yeah.
people, right? They're not out there always fighting bad guys. They're fighting here. Sometimes they're just out there doing community service, right? They're holding up a bridge so the construction guys can do their thing, or whatever it might be. Natural disasters. They're helping rebuild after a tornado, that sort of thing.
Okay,
What
so
do you think the armed forces are just training people to be killers? No, they take these young men and women in, they mold them into quality people and citizens to help.
Health
Now,
insurance.
do they have to?
So-
Dental insurance.
hold on,
a pension
Chris.
plan.
Chris,
People who
Steve,
volunteered.
Yeah.
Chris, Steve, before you guys say any more things that are going to make you hate yourselves even more, can you let's get to the mechanics of this game? Let's just like bring it back to let's pretend you guys are up against Lex and me, and we're playing this game out. Which of these are you more likely to choose as your 1 and 2 schemes?
That we're going to have you go up against.
Yeah. Are
Right.
there ones of these that you like more than I mean, the lies you have to tell yourself to play these cards, notwithstanding.
Oh,
But-
now we're liars. Now we're
What?
liars. These
Um,
rebels have
Yes.
no.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
the shameful self-loathing you must be feeling right now as you describe.
How are
these
you going to
cards
punish
us?
us?
Yeah, what would you be using
Well,
against
befo-
Lex and me? What are your favorite ones and your favorite twos?
Before I tell you that, can I tell you the specific mechanics of the initiative?
Please do.
I would
Finish
love
that one.
to.
Oh, I
the
didn't mean to jump the
initiative-
gun. I apologize.
No, it's
I'm so
perfectly
full of
fine. I was
It's
going
Not
off on a
following
tangent.
our normal procedure. See, he's got to rebel against the order of the cards, even.
Yeah, just
See
so
what we deal with, folks?
full of surprise and vitriol. Lost where I was.
Negative
All right,
prison for you.
Yeah.
Where's
go ahead.
where's that spot?
Oh,
world
there's
when
no
you need
going
it?
back now. Okay.
All right, so the initiative side scheme, same numbers as all the others. When revealed, the enemy team searches the encounter deck and discard pile for 1 per player side schemes and deals 1 to each player on your team as a face-down encounter card. So in theory, you're getting anywhere from 1 to 4 side schemes in your next villain phase.
1 to 2. I've yet to.
Probably, yes.
I would love to hear if anybody's played this 4-on-4, but I don't think that happens. But all right, back to Daniel's question though. Which one and which 2 are we picking? I do like shield recruits because you get to go fetch minions and you can choose minions that and you get to assign them so you can specifically target the enemy players, right? You can be like, oh, he's playing with this guy, I want to put a guard in front of him, or this one has quick strike and I want to be able to do an extra point of damage or something like those lines. I kind of like that for a 1.
Okay.
Chris, what about you?
So personally, I like Homeland Security, which gives each minion guard. The reason being is Civil War is kind of a race against the opponent. So it's who can beat down the other leader first. So by forcing the minions to have guard, you are slowing down their ability to hit the leader and getting to the win condition.
Yeah, that's good. What about for 2?
For 2, generally, I like Negative Zone Prison, because more times than not, people use allies for chump blocking, and there's no way, once they go into the prison, there's no way to get them back. There is no response. There's no action you can take on this. If you get it down to 0 threat, you get the cards back. No, they're gone from your deck.
They're gone. Yep.
So if you're like, oh, well, if I don't have this really important ally block for me, I get defeated. Well, that ally is now gone from the game, effectively. They not only are they removed from the game, but they also reduce the threat level on the main scheme that'll lose you the game. So it's kind of a double whammy.
Yeah, that's a good one. With this same idea of your guard, I kind of like no going back, where an ally will enter play exhausted, which prevents them from utilizing their abilities or making an attack with them, so it can slow them down. It's like a tempo hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Daniel, which ones would you not want to see come up against you?
Sure. I am not a huge fan, and I'm trying to remember, Steve, when we played those fellas, what did they do to us? I'll tell you what I don't mind seeing at all, and that's shield recruits, to be honest, because I build decks for violence. So whatever, right? And those decks sometimes reward you for being, surrounded by minions. What I think could be disruptive and ultimately interesting is public outrage. And I think for some heroes that would be really bad. I probably, for the majority of heroes. What do you think, Lex? Like, that's the one you want them to? I bet no one ever picks this one. Like, is it really that big of a deal?
It kind of depends, but if you're
ultimately, I would love for Steve and Chris to pick that one. The thing is,
it's already a race, right? It's already a race. So you're kind of telling people don't stall, because the more you stall, the more you're going to get encounter cards. So
yeah,
and there's nothing to prevent them from just rushing your leader with this one, with public outrage. But it can be really painful if they're milling a bunch of cards that they need in order to actually be effective. So it's kind of there's a risk with this one. It can be really impactful, especially against some heroes, but it could also not, right?
Yeah, how many deck passes do you get in a typical Civil War game? Because if you
in a typical game, you get 1.
Yeah, I mean, you might go through your deck twice, maybe, if you're slow.
Hardly
so
ever,
like,
right?
So yeah, you are right. I wasn't thinking if you lose a key piece in this, you may never see it again, and that could impact you.
But guys, that's why you build a 40 card deck with 30 cards that aren't that important.
Okay.
See?
Okay.
Then this doesn't hurt at all.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah. And the negative zone prison doesn't. Yeah. The negative zone prison doesn't bother Mike because he never has allies in his deck.
He never has an ally, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say the thing I don't ever want to see is the initiative.
Extra side schemes.
As an aggression player and who hates yellow cards, like that's rough.
Yeah, if you can drop out a crisis on them, because then they have to spend time if they're trying not to lose, or or that sort of thing, or if they can drop a side scheme with a hazard on it and they're just punching.
Yeah. And as a leadership, if I'm not playing aggression, I'm playing leadership. So no going back. Steve, I agree with you. That sucks.
Yeah. I think too, because these are going to be the first cards that they get, there's a chance with some of those side schemes that they trigger when like a minion comes out. So you can kind of set up and be like, well, I'm going to put these out, and then if I draw one of these cards where that minion comes out, it punishes them. You can kind of set that up ahead of time. I do agree that the initiative, that's a pretty painful one. I don't know if it's worse than no going back. I'm not a huge ally player. I don't play allies a ton, but having an ally interplay exhausted makes it pretty hard to play them. So I think that one might have the most. One of those two is probably my least favorite as far as the 2P
Yeah.
schemes. I don't want either of them.
One interaction I realized, Steve, when you said shield recruits is, and I'm trying to look to see, do any of the Civil War encounter set, little mini encounter sets, do the minions have teamwork? Because if so, shield recruit becomes a lot worse, because you're just like, all right, here's all the teamwork minions. So they're going to be, the first one may not trigger, but the second one or third one, depending on how many players there are, all of a sudden, hey, I've got, I guarantee you a activation here.
Right. Boy, there's a lot of shared traits. Yes, the Mighty Avengers has a teamwork on Wasp. She has teamwork Avengers, but she's the only one with the teamwork. But you could put Yellow Jacket, and then Wasp could come out, because you get to assign them, right? So you could give Yellow Jacket, which is an Avenger, to the first player, and Wasp to the second player, which adds threat when she comes out as well. So she would trigger, plus she has a when revealed effect. Some of these guys have when revealed effects, like Yellow Jacket, giving the enemy a tough, and we were talking about slowing things down.
And in a real open environment, you can bring any modular set you want, right?
Only for co-op. Yeah.
It looks like the resistance side has some team up ones, and I'm sure they might have done that on purpose. Is that so? Like Black Panther, the Secret Avengers have teamwork. The New Avengers have, again, this marketing plan of we got New Avengers, Secret Avengers, Mighty Avengers.
Yeah. But yeah, Daniel, if you are just playing this like a 4-player regular game, you can totally put in any.
You can set up some teamwork.
Yeah, to make it harder on yourself. But if you're doing the PvP, I think that's what we were kind of talking about, where you're only using Civil War mods.
All right.
Yeah, there's not a lot of teamwork for the registration. So.
Well, all these cards confirm my belief about registration.
That
you should follow the law and register.
And the registering helps provide public safety. I want to know my doctor is a registered physician. I need to register to vote. I need to register, I don't know, just to get on a stupid website these days, just to look at whatever stupid thing there is online. That part I hate. I don't want to make an account. Don't make me log in and register. Just show me the thing I want to see. Anyways, next week we'll talk resistance. We'll run through all the schemes, and I guess Daniel, you guys get to be the rebels and the hive of scum and villainy. I guess that's a different IP, but okay.
Wow.
Yeah, if that's what you want to call me, sure.
Well, listen, folks. If you want to register your agreement of Iron Man as a complete tool, please email us at criticalencounterspod@gmail.com or Critical Encounters on Facebook. You can find our YouTube, Twitch, or Patreon by searching for Critical Encounters Podcast. And on Discord, we are Bardane, Lexicon, Maka, and Big Foam Loaf. Now, if you like our show, tell your friends. If you don't like our show, tell your enemies. Hey, Iron Man, take us out.
Freedom is an illusion. We only get to choose our master.
Really not sure how that supports your guys' cause.
That's not a great quote there for ourselves. I'm gonna need a shower after arguing.
Yeah. Oh, now I want to register.
Yeah.
Jesus.